welcome back to Music Monday. Today we're covering an instrument that you may say, wait a minute, you've already covered that before. Well, we're talking about the banjo, and no, I have not covered this before. I have covered the banjo, but this is a different type of banjo. This is what's called a plectrum banjo. It's called a plectrum banjo because you play it with the plectrum. And basically with a 5-string banjo, you would play it in a very different way than a 4-string banjo. Now there's different types of 4-string banjos. The regular 4-string banjo is like a 5-string banjo, just without the 5th string. But a plectrum banjo is different. It's tuned in a completely different way, so it's basically a completely different instrument whilst still being a banjo. As you can see here, it's still a banjo. It still sounds like a banjo, but it's tuned in a completely different way. Usually banjos are tuned in G, but the G there sounds different on a banjo because all 5 strings are like G and they're different notes then. But here, it's just tuned in 5th, so you get everything is exactly where you expected. And with a 5-string banjo, you may expect banjo music to be all like, something like. But you don't do that with this kind of banjo. This kind of banjo is a very different style of banjo, used in a different style of music. Usually 5-string banjos you can find in country, bluegrass, stuff like this. This meant more for like, dancey jazz bands and stuff like that. Here's some things in the key of C. All you need for that would be C, G, and F. Which I have just noticed myself that sounds very similar to how a ukulele would sound. Because usually when you play the same chord on a different instrument, it sounds different. But these two sound fairly similar. Here is a ukulele, and it sounds like this. And here we have the banjo. Which is odd because banjos and ukuleles are tuned in a completely different way. And also just to show you how other instruments would make that sound, saying that they are completely different in the sound, they are completely different in the sound. Here are the same chords on a guitar. Wait. Crap, the F is always the one that gets me. Man. So, see? I mean, obviously they still sound the same because it's the same chord. However, they still have like a difference to them. But with the banjo and the ukulele, I feel like they sound very, very similar. Very similar. Anyway, I guess I'll just play something. Now, to play with the banjo, you only need a very simple chord. This chord right here. You can alternate this chord from regular to a 7 or to a minor. And this one's called the 4 chord. Here would be the difference. Here, it's the same thing except, since the strings are already, you can't really touch them anymore, look. So it's a bar chord, meaning you're basically just making it higher and then adding a few notes. So if we just took it away, we could only do this. This is a C chord. If you take that other chord, which would normally be like that, if you take it away that last one, you get F. And then if you do this strange shape here, you get G, which I haven't noticed being used in the other ones, but I guess I'll try to see what that would be like. It's quite a hard one. Okay, sounds pretty good. I once learned this chord progression on the guitar because my grandma knows guitar, and she taught me this chord progression. I don't know what it is, where it's from. I just know it. It would be like this. So she taught me on the guitar, and since I know what the chords on the guitar were, I translated it from guitar to banjo. She taught me this. Again, I have no idea what this is or where it's from, but I have it. If you translate that to banjo, again, it sounds like this. For that more banjo sound, you want to play close to the bridge, which is this little thing right here, if you don't know. You get that more. Up here you get a softer sound versus down here. So yeah, this is just a type of 4-string banjo. I know some of you may, if you don't know the banjo very well, you may be like, 4-string banjo, there's a 5-string banjo, because I know for most people, the 4-string banjo is very iconic. When most people think of the banjo, if they don't know banjo very well, they will probably think of the 4-string banjo. But this isn't the proper banjo. The proper banjo has 5 strings. That's the original banjo. The 5th string is a little drone string that's right here, right in the middle, and it would be hold on. That's the note it would be. And that would be a regular 5-string banjo. That's the most common one. If you want to see my video on the 5-string banjo, it will be in the link in the description. I play 5-string banjo there, but here I'm playing the 4-string, which is quite an interesting instrument. This isn't the most common type of banjo, as some people may believe, because most people have grown adapted to thinking 4-string banjo is how it is. Here's a plushie that portrays 4-string banjo. Clearly, it's the more famous variation of a banjo. And even though it's not the one that most people hear, it is the more famous one. The one that's played is often the 5-string banjo. The sound that people often think about is the sound of the 5-string banjo, that very sound. But when they hear the banjo, they hear this. And when they think of the banjo, they think of this, which isn't right at all. The 4-string banjo doesn't do any of those fancy finger pluckings, any of those fancy rolls. They just use the plectrum and make it work like that. So at first it was very confusing because with a guitar, everything would be aligned at the 5th fret. But as you can tell, it's clearly not. It's all the way up here. It's tuned in 5th, as I said, like a viola. Its tuning is identical to a viola, except I'm pretty sure you don't play chords on a viola, you just play a singular note. So if you really wanted to know the chords, you would need to, well, you could just learn how to play 4-string banjo, but if you wanted to make it more convenient, you could learn how to play mandolin, which is basically this, but higher pitch. I believe it's like this. It's either that or something like that. It's a very similar instrument, not in the way it sounds, but its tuning. Its tuning is very similar, besides the fact that it's just a higher pitch version of this. Again, everything is exactly where you would think it would be. It's very easy to remember because it's just here, 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 and then it kind of inverts itself and it goes here, 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 here. So it's just, it's exactly the same thing from here. And then these two also have the exact same thing of